Welcome to Forbes India's celebration of woman power.
This is not just an evening to honor and celebrate women achievers. It is also a gathering of enablers, people who make it possible for others to say, I did it, and so will you.
As we gather for the 9th edition of the Forbes India W-Power, we also want to acknowledge the partners who have joined us in celebrating this platform. A sincere thank you to our associate partners, House of Glenfiddich and Reliance Industries.
With that, we move to our first conversation of the evening. India has always exported culture through cinema, food, music, and storytelling. But fashion may be the most visceral form of it. Tonight, we asked two women who have been at the center of this shift how fashion is becoming one of India's most soft power tools and what it means to be building it from the inside. May I please invite Pankti Mehta Kadakia to the stage. And the guests for this session, please put your hands together for Masaba Gupta, fashion designer and founder, House of Masaba. Please also put your hands together for Naita Shrofatania, stylist, entrepreneur, and creative director. Pankti, over to you.
I want to start with asking that when you hear the phrase soft power, or when you think about India's power with respect to fashion, what role would you say fashion plays as opposed to film, food, or music?
So I think with fashion, because it's so visible, it's immediate. You don't need any translation. What you see is what you're absorbing, what you're feeling. And we come from such a rich heritage of, craft, textile, a point of view. We are storytellers by nature. So I think when we hit international red carpets or events, our soft power is not very soft. It's quite hard hitting, I think.
I have to second what Anita said. And I think that India's finally realized that we can be inspired by ourselves. I think that the world, the West, has always taken a lot of inspiration from India. There has been India in pretty much every major design house's storytelling at some point in their career. And I think India is suddenly waking up to the idea that, hey, if everyone else has eyes on us, why can't we have eyes on ourselves?
And now that we've established that India, is on the global map, it is on every red carpet that's worth being on, how do you think this benefits India? How can we harness this power further?
Back in the day, you really had to do a lot of work, a lot of R&D before you even launched a collection. I mean, just simple example, the cycle of fashion was that you did about 2 collections a year, and you hit the runway, and then maybe 6 months later, it hit stores. Today, we're doing, I don't even know how many collections we do, and it's almost instant. It's like you create the product, okay, it's good to go, you shoot it, it's on the shop floor, or it's online. So I think with how D2C has emerged as a major area, I do think that people should use this time. I think it's the best time to be an entrepreneur, if you ask me, and kickstart something that you've been meaning to.
Perfect. I think that's about all the time we have, but thank you so much for being with us today.
Now, let's get started with honoring the self-made women achievers of 2026. The Forbes India W-Power icon of excellence recognizes a woman whose influence extends far beyond a single industry. Someone whose work has consistently redefined creativity and entrepreneurship.
Our first icon of excellence honoree this evening is a prominent name in the world of fashion. But to call her a fashion designer would be reductive. Masaba Gupta is a creator, entrepreneur, a storyteller, and a brand builder. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Khaleesi of Prince, Masaba Gupta. Congratulations, Masaba. Let's meet our first set of listees now. E-commerce, streaming, luxury retail, the creator economy. Most executives navigate one industry transformation in a career. Gunjan Soni navigated 4 and led companies through each of them. Today, she leads one of India's most influential digital platforms. Please welcome Gunjan Soni, Country Managing Director, YouTube India.
Our next winner started out writing dialogues and screenplays, a complete outsider to the industry's traditional power structures. From Rocky or Rani Ki Prem Kahani to 4 More Shots Please, Call Me Bae, and Single Papa. She also won 3 Filmfares in one single year. Please welcome to the stage Ishita Moitra, writer and producer.
Dr. Sonali Ghosh came to the Kaziranga National Park as a trainee. Today, she's a field director and has spent a career in between fighting poaching and leading ecological research. Please give a big round of applause for Dr. Sonali Ghosh, field director, Kaziranga National Park.
Moving on to our next honoree of the night. Before her, styling wasn't really considered a profession in India. She's behind some of the most iconic looks we've seen on screen, on magazine covers, and across popular culture. A stylist, creative director, entrepreneur, and one of India's most influential stylists. Please welcome Anaita Shroffet-Jania.
She learned the English alphabet in the 5th standard, went to government schools, completed her CA in 1989, the first from her college to do so, and went on to become the first woman among global peers to head a stock exchange. Please welcome Kamala Kantharaj, Chief Regulatory Officer, Bombay Stock Exchange. A huge congratulations once again to all our listees.
Startups were, for the longest time, a male-dominated space. And in many ways, they continue to be. But that is changing. And some of the women driving that change are in this very room tonight. May I please request Suveen Sinha, editor of Forbes India, to join us on stage to take this conversation ahead with two founders who have done exactly that. Liana Emanuel, founder and CEO, Brainsight AI, and Kavita Subramanian, CEO of co-founder of Upstocks.
Kavita, if I could begin with you, as I learned yesterday, you were in an IIT class the only woman, okay, and you topped the class, right? So that is the kind of funnel we have had where, at the broader end of the funnel, so few women coming through to the engineering and STEM streams. So one is the supply thing. One is all these, surgeon cannot be a woman, that kind of thinking. What kind of things did you negotiate and how did you negotiate them?
It was my first day at IIT. I was obviously super excited. And I walk into my classroom and nerds, so I sat on the first desk. And the class is filling in. It's about 150 students. And it is boy after boy after boy. After a while, I just thought, oh my God, I'm in the wrong class. So I got up, I left to check, and I came back and saying, oh my God, this is it. This is my class, right? Until I reached there, nobody told me that I was not supposed to be there. And I think massive kudos to my mom. She's here. And growing up, my mother was someone who really valued education, as most of India. And so she decided to break that cycle. She decided that her 4 daughters are going to study no matter what.
Right, right. Break the cycle, you said. So, Laina, when you were, coming up, did you feel the pressure to be one of the boys, somehow fit in, follow the rules that is for a world created by men for other men? What was that pressure like?
You don't realize that you have a barrier till you get into like an engineering college or you get out into like a software tech world and you suddenly like, oh my God, there are just way too many boys here. And you need to then navigate. And certainly there is a pressure to do things that men do very easily, right? And I think that pressure was there certainly for me as well.
So both of you, funding was an important factor to grow the business. What was the entire fundraising experience like?
And I'll be really, really hard-pressed to say that gender had a place there, to be honest. I know that every VC, and this is a question best asked to the VCs, to be honest.
Yes.
But I know the VCs are doing their best. They're trying to just get the best ROI. And, there's industries, then there's companies and founders and so on, and there's a whole echelon.
Yes.
And so I would be really hard-pressed to say in that massive game of dice, was gender really a factor? And I don't know, you might have a different experience.
Similar, I mean, I think you said it well. I think at that time you never realized that the odds are maybe stacked against you. But I think if you look at the larger statistics, and that's when you possibly realize it, that only 4% of the funding goes to women founders. And hence, in the moment, you probably don't realize that the dice is loaded against you because it's loaded against all the entrepreneurs in the room. But overall, you then do realize it, yes.
Right. Thank you very much. It was great, yeah.
May we please request Soumya Suryanarayan to please come on stage for the next set of awards. Most people know her as the woman steering OpenAI's strategy and global affairs in India. Fewer know that she was a top 3 ranked amateur golfer, and fewer still know that she is a meditation trainer and hosts her own podcast. Give it up for Pragya Mishra, Head of Strategy and Global Affairs, OpenAI.
Our next honoree was a state-level kabaddi player. Payal Kapadia's film that traveled to Cannes and introduced Chaya Kadam to the world in a way she always deserved. Critically acclaimed, deeply versatile, and proof that the best careers are built in patience. Please welcome on stage Chaya Kadam. Moving on, our next honoree is a partner at Lightspeed. She shaped the product at Ola. And it all started with a 7th grader walking up to a coding teacher, someone who only taught adults and refusing to take no for an answer. He said she was too young. She said, give me a few weeks. He did, and she delivered. Please put your hands together for Harsha Kumar, partner Lightspeed.
The next honoree calls herself a daughter of the river Brahmaputra. Today, she has brought the great adjunct stock back from the brink of extinction. Please put your hands together for Dr. Purnima Devi Burman. With this, we have come to the end of this set of felicitations. Congratulations to all the winners, and thank you so much, Soumya, for joining us. We now move on to our next session. It's about what happens when women's health is treated not as a niche, but as a priority worth clinical focus and serious capital.
To moderate this discussion, please welcome Nasreen Sultana to the stage. And joining her are 2 women bringing very different but equally powerful perspectives to this conversation. Dr. Manika Khanna, founder, CEO, and chairperson, Gaudium IVF, and Sonia Dasgupta, CEO, JM Financial Investment Banking.
I'll start with Sonia first. Gaudium IVF, of course, was path-breaking when it came to the capital markets. How did the capital markets see fertility care as a sector?
So any business that shows sustainable growth with good margins and good return on capital is something that investors will rush to. And I think ART, as it's called, assisted reproductive technology, is one of the fields, just given the sheer mass and demand pull because of demographics, women getting educated and therefore wanting to choose having assisted reproductive into their lives. And of course, the stresses of modern day life, which is bringing to fore science and technology being used. So I think it's very good that we are bringing such topics to the fore and normalizing a lot of things that science can cure.
I'll come to Dr. Khanna now. And what kind of signals do you think your IPO had sent to investors about women health innovation? Because, of course, it was first of its kind. It was difficult for the market to understand your business. But what kind of signals it sent to the investors?
Well, initially when I started talking, it was so new for them that, some of them kind of brushed it off that whether and we will be able to successfully go public. But then we met people, luckily for me, I met investors who had vision, who could see what this industry is all about. And yes, we made it.
So there's a lot of social stigma also with assisted reproduction or with fertility care. My question to both of you actually: do you think if listing of a fertility care center or a fertility business really kind of helps to remove this kind of social stigma?
Definitely. I think, all the next gen in the places that I work, in my own family, all the millennial girls, when I hear them talk, the first thing they are talking is freeze your eggs. Okay. And I think that's very powerful, right? So I think education of best use of ART in a safe and ethical manner is the need of the hour. And I think it's very important to normalize this. And, all of us, including the media, has a great role to play here.
Yeah, the stigma uh, is decreasing significantly. There were days, in the clinic when in 2009 when I started 17 years back. So a couple would walk in and you would tell the husband that you also have to be tested, and he would say, I'm completely fine. Why do I need to be tested? So, from those days, at least we've come to days when a couple walks in, most of the men do know that, they contribute 50% to the infertility. And entering the capital markets, within 2 months, we've got so much exposure to talk about it. So, I think it will definitely have an impact.
So thank you so much for being really interesting conversation.
To present the next set of awards, please join us in welcoming on stage Suveen Sinha.
When Falguni Nair built Nykaa, she made a bet most people thought was wrong. In an era where every e-commerce player was going asset light, she went the other way. Capital intensive, inventory led, and full control of the customer experience. And today, that model is the norm. Please welcome on stage an inspiration for so many, Falguni Nair, founder and CEO Nykaa.
Our next honoree built IndiCube from scratch. No external funding, no institutional backing. Please give it up for Meghna Agarwal, co-founder IndiCube.
Indian cuisine is undergoing a remarkable shift. Our next honoree has been at the center of that movement. Aditi Dugar approaches food the way scientists approach a problem, with research, with rigor, and with the conviction that Indian cuisine has depths that haven't been fully explored yet. Please give it up for Aditi Dugar of Mask.
Our next honoree, as you all know by now, was the only woman in her batch at IIT Bombay. And she topped it. Today, her work at Upstocks is helping millions of Indians access financial markets for the first time. Please welcome on stage Kavita Subramanian, co-founder Upstocks.
Our next honoree is a pediatrician, but her impact goes far beyond the clinic. For 8 years, she fought a legal and advocacy battle against pharma and FMCG companies to protect children from fake ORS. She fought it largely alone, and she won. Please welcome on stage Dr. Sivaranjani Santosh.
The phrase self-made gets thrown around very casually today. But behind every so-called overnight success is years of risk, reinvention, and resilience.
Our next conversation is about exactly that, what it takes to build a career, a brand, and an identity entirely on your own terms. To moderate this conversation, please welcome Kunal Purandare to the stage. And joining him are two actors who have built remarkable careers across industries, genres, and platforms entirely on their own terms. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome them with a huge round of applause, Bhumi Satish Pednekar and Tamanna Bhatia.
I'll start with you, Bhumi. You completed a decade in the Hindi film industry last year.
I know. It's been a decade already.
But you've been a risk taker right from the beginning. For your first film, Dam Laga Ke Haisha, you put on 24 kilos. It's, for a debut film, actresses like to look glam and fab. But your character of Sandhya was anything that a typical Hindi film heroine isn't. A small town girl, married, overweight. Is it in your DNA to defy norms and challenge yourself? Has that been your go-to mantra right from the beginning?
Honestly, when I started my career, I didn't really have a choice. All I ever wanted to do was be an actor, and when I was given the opportunity, yes, I gained weight. If somebody would have told me chop off a finger, I would have done that too, because it's very, very rare for opportunities like so to come your way. And I think I kind of like realized that okay, it was also my strategy, because I realized it's a great way for me to create a space for myself which will give me longevity. And that's exactly what I did. I think I also have a lot of activism and advocacy in me as a human being. I think the roles that I choose are a natural. I naturally resonate with them because I truly feel that cinema is a very powerful tool, and it has the ability to reach out to so many people when used the right way.
Tamanna, you already had an astonishing 2-decade career. You're from Mumbai, the home to the film industry, Hindi film industry, but you created a niche for yourself down south, starring in some of the biggest blockbusters in Tamil and Telugu cinema. Bahubali, of course, changed the trajectory of your career. It was a bold decision given the language barrier and the unfamiliar terrain. Did you always believe it yourself, or was it just about latching onto every opportunity that you got?
Everything in retrospect looks like you did well and it's a good decision. At the time when Bahubali was being made, it was a Telugu film with a 200 crore budget. It was actually a straight way to failure if you thought of it from a strategic point of view. But I think with the movies and a creative business, it's all about one person thinking that whether anybody else thinks this is right or wrong, they think that this is the only way it should be, and that's why Bahubali was made as a Telugu film, and meant to be consumed by the entire nation. And I feel like that's where the whole pan India conversation even started to begin with. So my obsession for wanting to perform led me to, just like how Bhumi said, take on every opportunity that came my way initially. Because for someone who's not from the film industry, or doesn't have any connection, the only way is to see what you're getting and make that the best opportunity.
But coming from non-film families, it is quite brave of you all to stick to your guns and go the full throttle. I want to know from both of you all what has gone behind making the successful self-made women that you all are, and what have your experiences been vis-a-vis the star kids?
When I started my career, for me, success was also survival. I had to make that money. Needed the film to be a success. I was just trying to do my best because there was an entire ecosystem that I was supporting, and this is the real truth of it. I'm very lucky that I get to do it. Only formula is be authentic. Be your most real self, especially today. And I've learned this from mistakes that I have made in the past as well. And I own up to them and I'm very vocal about them. Today, more than ever, there's nothing more precious than authenticity. Following a formula or following a path that has been walked on is very easy. Doing something that hasn't been done scares people, especially as women. If you're a woman that's walking your own path, you're going to scare the society, and they will constantly try and push you into a corner. They'll constantly try and box you. But coming out victorious from that box is what gives me fire. And I think film after film, I think that's what I've seeked, and that's what's worked, and that's my strategy, that's my formula.
Tamanna?
I think I am generally a committed person. I commit to anything and then I go all the way. Not sort of I don't judge then that what's going to come my way. I did not get a chance to prep. My prep was on location. My prep was on a film set. I had to learn a new language. In fact, I had to learn two new languages because I chose to work in the South, and Tamil and Telugu were languages I didn't come to me naturally. I took the long road. I did not do any shortcuts. I think that's something that I did. I never took shortcuts. I always took the longer cut. But that helped me sustain. Like, I think 20 years happens only when when you don't take shortcuts.
Lovely. On that note, I think we can end this conversation. Thank you, Bhumi. Thank you, Tamanna. Lovely speaking with you all.
As we come to the final set of felicitations this evening, what stands out the most is that there's this extraordinary range of leadership that we have celebrated tonight across business, technology, culture, finance, fashion, media, science, the arts, and a lot more. It is now our privilege to invite Sumaira Abdulali, founder, Awas Foundation, and Dr. Manika Khanna, founder, CEO, and chairperson, Gaudium IVF, to the stage to present the next set of awards. Our next icon of excellence honoree is someone who has always chosen the latter. As a climate advocate, she has been one of the most vocal celebrities voicing on an issue that most prefer to sidestep on. As an actor, she transforms herself completely to inhabit her characters physically, emotionally, entirely. Dam Laga Ke Haisha, Son Chiraiya, Dal Dal, roles that demanded everything and got it. As an actor, entrepreneur, and climate advocate, Forbes India is proud to honor Bhumi Satish Pednekar as an icon of excellence tonight.
Kate Middleton wore an Anita Dongre design during her official tour of India. Beyonce, Hillary Clinton, Sophie Turner. The list of women who have chosen her work speaks for itself. And she was among the first Indian designers to open standalone retail stores abroad, including in Soho, New York. Anita Dongre is unable to be with us tonight, but her son is here to accept this honor on her behalf. Please welcome Yash Dongre to the stage.
Our next honorees are building what has been described as a Google map for the brain. Using AI and machine learning, BrainSight AI is mapping the human neural pathways in ways that could fundamentally change how we understand and treat the brain. Please welcome to the stage Laina Emmanuel, founder and CEO, and Rimjim Agarwal, co-founder and CTO, BrainSight AI.
The next honoree made her debut in one of the most iconic films in Indian cinema, Gangs of Wasseypur. And she delivered a line that has lived rent-free in our heads ever since. Permission leni chahiye thi na? Since then, she's built a body of work that refuses to play it safe. Characters that are complex, unconventional, and deeply human. Actor, author, and one of the most interesting creative minds working in Indian cinema today. Please give it up for Huma Qureshi.
Her first auction was of baseball memorabilia in New York, where the audience was a room full of American male baseball enthusiasts. She was 20-something years old. The confidence that she had then has since only grown. Malika Sagar has broken ground as India's first female sports auctioneer, conducting IPL, WPL, Pro Kabaddi League, and Rugby League auctions. Please welcome her on stage with a huge round of applause.
For nearly 2 decades, Tamanna Bhatia has remained one of India's most celebrated cinema stars, seamlessly conquering Bollywood and regional industries alike with blockbuster films, iconic songs, and unforgettable performances. Beyond the screen, Tamanna has also emerged as a sharp entrepreneur, with Tamanna Fine Jewelry as a brand inspired by craftsmanship, heritage, and modern luxury. Please give it up for Tamanna Bhatia, actor and entrepreneur.
Can we please request, Tamanna, can we request you to just stay back? Can we invite all the winners to please come on stage for a group photograph? As we close this evening, we celebrate not just achievement, but the incredible influence and impact of the women we honored tonight. A heartfelt thank you to all our honorees, speakers, presenters, and guests for being a part of the Forbes India W-Power 2026. And once again, a special thanks to our associate partners, House of Glenfiddich and Reliance Industries.